Hello, my name is Justin Fortin, and I am a licensed paramedic in the state of Connecticut, as well as a certified EMS instructor. Today I'm going to go over my performance assessment development on one of the most important aspects of teaching emergency medical services to prospective first responders. I find this to be one of the culminating pieces of work that we do in EMS classes, and it really makes a big impact on the student and their future in EMS. So I looked up the education standards for EMS written by the National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration. The two that I found kind of work into the assignment but aren't the main focus. Unfortunately, because these were written in 2009 and haven't really had many updates, it was hard to find my main focus of my assignment as an education standard. However, these two education standards really do play a major role in this assignment. So the first one is patient assessment. The student should be able to apply scene information and patient assessment findings, including scene size-up, primary and secondary assessments, patient history, and reassessment, to guide emergency management. With that, the medical overview says that a student should apply fundamental knowledge to provide basic emergency care and transportation based on assessment findings for an acutely ill patient. So as we get into this a little bit further, you'll see what the assignment entails, and you'll understand why these two education standards really do play a major role in this assignment. Because I wasn't able to find an education standard that really fit this assignment, I decided that I should write something that would fit it and kind of make my own education standard for the students that are going to be performing the tasks within this assignment. So I came up with: the student will be able to assess, diagnose, and treat a patient as a member of a highly professional pre-hospital healthcare team. Through their teamwork, the student will successfully be able to treat their patient in an efficient and effective manner. So you could see here that I pulled in those two education standards from before. Being able to assess, diagnose, and treat a patient are both of those education standards of patient assessment and medical overview with treatment. The two things that I were not able to find were professional healthcare teams and teamwork. I find that teamwork in EMS is one of the most important things we could discuss. It's often overlooked, but it really shouldn't be. So my goal of my assignment is really to show the students that while assessing, diagnosing, and treating the patient is your number one concern, if you don't work as a team and work with your colleagues, you won't be able to do this correctly or in a manner that's going to be safe for you or the patient or your partners. So teamwork is my main overarching theme of this assignment, and this education standard kind of outlines that. So a fun quote that I found when doing some research for this was that improving student learning and achievement happens in the immediacy of an individual lesson, or it doesn't happen at all. Now, I agree and I disagree with this quote. I agree because during each assignment, someone's going to learn something new. That's a given. But I don't think that it has to be an individual assignment. This assignment that I've made is the end result of building blocks. You build up to learn the patient assessment, learn how to diagnose somebody and treat them, and then you pull it all together in the end with something like a problem-based learning experience like you'll see here. So the student's goal for my assignment is the assignment is for the student to show their combined knowledge of course material to successfully manage a patient, a team, and emergency scene as the leader of a professional team. The procedure is as follows. The student will be given a medical scenario as well as information according to this scenario that will help them better understand the situation. The student who is the lead provider will then begin the primary assessment and begin delegating roles within the team. All decisions made by the team will need to be relayed to the instructor by the team lead for further information and to move forward in the scenario. So for this, I have every student rotating through the team lead role. So there may be a group of 5 students that'll be playing a part in this scenario, plus the patient. So with that, we have one person as the team lead, and they're the one that's getting their performance assessed here, seeing how they do with their delegation of tasks, how they do with communication with their team, with the instructor, with the patient, and really kind of looking at the bigger picture while the team members are looking at the actual physical hands-on things and the kind of other details that make this so important. So like I mentioned, the groups are rather small, so not everybody will be able to play a part in every scenario, which is why when we look at student performance here, I kind of broke it up into different categories of how they're going to be assessed. So each student will be evaluated as a team lead. The students who are not participating in that scenario will be critiquing their performance, giving them feedback on what they did good, what they did bad, what they could change for next time. The patient's status will change based on the team's treatment or lack thereof. So if the team decides they're going to give a medication that's not the right medication, the patient may have a bad outcome. If they give the right medication and the right dose, the patient will have a good outcome. Again, helping the team to work together to problem solve and get through this problem-based experience. And obviously the instructor will use the rubric to give the team lead a grade based on all parts of the scenario and feedback from the entire class. You'll see the rubric on the next slide. What's important to note here is that the ongoing development of instructional methods and feedback skills are critical to excellence in teaching. I find this really important to mention here as a quote that I found, because we really need to develop our instructional methods and feedback as instructors to make sure that our students are getting the best possible experience and we are sharing with them everything we possibly can to make them successful in this field. So when looking in a little bit further as to what a rubric is, I find that rubrics should make grading consistent and fair while helping to clarify expectations to both students and faculty. So, keywords here are consistency, fairness, and clarification of expectations. That's what I based my rubric off of. The rubric you see here is broken up into 4 different sections, each worth 4 points each. So we have knowledge, the ability to lead, teamwork, and communication. All of these focus in on the education standard that I created for this assignment, and the students know exactly what they're expected to do. They know what's going to get them 4 points and what's going to get them 1 point. By doing this, the student really has no other choice but to follow the rubric and get the best grade possible. I'm not trying to fail my students. I don't think any instructor would want to fail them. But by giving them the rubric ahead of time, they have the ability to do better on the actual performance of the skill that they will be assessed on. So after creating my performance assessment, we had to go through the assessment critique, which I have the 5 keys here that we had to discuss. And I'm going to go over a couple of them and kind of give you my feedback on this assignment. I mean, I really think this assignment was helpful for me as a new instructor to really hone in my skills and look a little bit further into what is going on behind the scenes of creating assignments. So key number 1 was big. So assessment serves a clear and appropriate purpose. My assessment definitely does. My purpose here is to have students work as a team. Okay, the whole thing is about teamwork. If they can work as a team, they will be successful as a provider in the pre-hospital setting. Communication. I'm communicating with my students my expectations. They're communicating with me what their expectations are, and it's kind of a two-way road. I really found this whole assignment to really help me understand further and work towards something that I feel is more researched and more developed than any of the other assignments I've ever created. So thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, let me know.